James, we've spoken before. My daughter Susan died on the 28th of March last year.
I remember.
And since then, I have struggled to understand the lunacy, the complete lunacy. I've bought the book, Failures of State, the COVID-19 catastrophe. I've tried to find out how in the hell could we get in this such a mess. And Dominic Cummings, he's not my favourite person by any stretch of the imagination, but he done me a favour yesterday.
Do you feel that?
He put a lot of he ticked a lot of boxes. He made some sense of the nonsense, if you can understand what I'm saying. Because
I don't just understand it, John. I feel every word of it.
Never look for logic where logic doesn't exist. And I've been looking all these months, this 15, 16 months, crying every day. My wife crying every day because of the loss of our daughter, trying to understand why is my daughter dead. And now I know, and I've always believed. I mean, at the end of the day, the definition of herding immunity is a matter of semantics. Yeah. At the end of the day, what you can't do is you can't put your finger back in the dike 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day after you've taken the bloody thing out. And at the end of the day, that's what Johnson did, because Johnson didn't take the pandemic seriously. He refused to take it seriously. He refused to arrive at COBRA meetings. He went on a fortnight's holiday. And for me, Cummings did me a favour yesterday. He did me a big favour, because what he's done is given me the peace of mind of knowing my many, many hours and many, many months of deliberation as to why my daughter, and I'm looking at her bush now, sitting in my garden. Why is she dead? And I know that she is gone mainly because of the incompetence of Johnson and his refusal to accept the serious nature of this pandemic. And I will never, ever forgive him, ever in my life, or any member of this catastocracy. I will never forgive them.
And oh, mate, you felt yesterday for the first time. I completely understand why you're at pains to stress the low regard in which you hold Dominic Cummings, but you felt, and Susan's mum felt yesterday for the first time, that you perhaps had come to understand how it happened.
Yeah, as far as I was concerned, he was telling the truth as he understood it, and his truth, just by coincidence, happens to be my truth. Because I firmly believed from the word go that Johnson never took it seriously. Let's be honest, he bragged about shaking hands with he went on morning television on ITV talking about herding immunity. Let's get it right. At the end of, the whole thing, the man is a complete menace. The man is a menace, and he doesn't care. And you have to remember as well, when in his mentality and in the Conservative Party mentality, my daughter Susan had Down syndrome. She was disabled.
I remember.
And before the pandemic came, there were 130 Oxford academics, investigated 130,000 premature deaths of mainly disabled people that were a result of Tory Conservative Party policies. So at the end of the day, the pandemic is, many of them are probably saying, well, we killed 130,000 before, what's another 130,000 matter? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I just despair of the people of this country that they watched all these thousands of people die and they don't care. And they just don't care.
You know me, mate. I can start an argument in an empty room, but I'm not going to.
I know you can.
I'm not going to argue with you about that.
I know you can, James.
I'd like to comfort you. People just need help understanding why they should care. They do care. They can't hear you now. Even the most boneheaded, cap-doffing, forelock-tugging sycophant cannot hear you now and not be moved. It's just a question of why so much effort is put into defending these people.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, the worst the worst thing has been dealing with. I mean, I know I listen to you all the time. I mean, but I don't get on the phone because my cancer triggers off if I get stressed.
I know.
And
Okay.
and the thing about it is, I sat and watched that Hancock, and I know he's lying. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm nearly 79 years of age. I've been around a little bit, and I think we know a liar when we see a liar. And at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, when he turns around and says he threw his arms around the shield around the nursing homes, and he did this and he did, and he argued that we had. I'll never forget the day that the nurse was crying her eyes out, saying that we were even told we've got to share a mask in a hospital. And that same day, Hancock was on the television telling us that there was no shortage of PPE in the hospitals. He was more or less calling that nurse a liar. So, you know what I mean? I'm not going to take no more of your time, and I'm grateful for
John,
your
you
time.
can have, I'm worried about your stress levels now.
No. I'll calm down on him. You know, at the end of the day,
Can I say one thing just to you, and very briefly, because it's the least important bit of our exchange, but I just want to say sorry to you for the times that you've tuned into this programme and heard me defending or sticking up for Matt Hancock. I'm really, really sorry for that.
No, mate, no. We've all got a right to an opinion, and we learn, don't we? And at the end of the day, it's the same as everything.
Of course.
I mean, all right, Cummings has told lies, but he's also told truth.
Yes.
So you can't condemn everything Cummings says as a lie, and that's exactly what the Sun,
point, isn't it?
It's
not all or nothing, a binary, a zero-sum game. You're 100% one way or 100% the other.
Exactly.
That's just not
at
human.
the end of the day. And I think the one thing that came out of yesterday, more importantly than anything else, is that the absolute need for an inquiry now.
Yeah.
Not in a year's time, an inquiry now, because at the end of the day, one thing we all know in our hearts, that the lunatics are running the asylum at the moment. And the fact of the matter is, we could have another bloody pandemic at the end of this month. Do you know what I mean? We can't afford to wait a year. Do you know what I mean? If we had somebody with half a brain running the country, do you know what I mean? I never call him Prime Minister because I think it's an insult to the name. But that's what we need. We need an inquiry now. Us families, us loved ones, all of us families.
It's the very, very least you deserve, isn't it?
Yeah,
actually,
exactly that.
Because you're reduced to a vengeful, vendetta-driven former senior advisor giving vitriolic testimony to a select committee to get answers to the most profound and the most powerful questions of your life, and you're reduced to tuning into a pantomime like that rather than having a full and frank independent inquiry.
Every minute of that, I rewound. Nearly 9 hours I was listening to that.
Lord.
Keep rewinding it. Listen to what he said again. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to be sure what he said. I wanted to understand what he said because it's so important to me. I mean, 9 hours is nothing. I mean, I have desperately needed the answers, and for me, he gave me the answers yesterday. And the simple answer is by Johnson's actions, by his refusal to accept the seriousness of the pandemic, he took his finger out of that dike, and there's no bloody way he could put it back. And it's as simple as easy as that. You know what I mean? And using the word vaccination does not wipe away all those 150,000 people that are dead. You know what I mean? And that's what they're trying to do. Just every time they open their mouth, it's vaccination, vaccination, vaccination.
Yeah, you're right.
Never about death. Thank you for your time.
Before you go.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm going to struggle to say this. I bet you were a brilliant dad.
Oh, God. Do you know, Saint? She was 56 years old. She was a bundle of fun. I called her Little Chief, and she called me Big Chief. And everybody knew her as Susie Wong. She was just the loveliest person in the world, and she didn't deserve. None of these people deserved it. None of these people deserved, a time of crisis when we desperately needed a really serious politician in charge of Downing Street. We sadly finished up with a charlatan and a narcissist and a liar. And that's why my daughter is dead, and that's why all these... I feel for all of these families. Every single family, my heart goes out to them. And when I see it every day, and people turn around and say, oh, there's only 9 dead today, or it's only... That's somebody's loved one. Yeah. It's not only 2, it's not only 9, it's not only 1. It's somebody's loved one that's died. And people are in pain. And people should remember that. And they should remember that the next time they go to put their cross in a box, in a vote in a polling station. Because this man isn't fit to run the country. End of story. I'm going to go. God bless and be well.
You look after yourself, mate. John.
Yeah, God bless.
We'll talk again. God bless you.